Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. And if this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name's Vanessa and Somuayina and you guys know me as your big sis from the internet and of course as your favorite psychic tarot reader right here on YouTube. And in today's Pick a Card Tarot reading, we are going to be revealing important messages that you are meant to receive from future you right here and right now. That's right, you guys. If you've ever wondered what your future self would say to you right now, especially if you're feeling lost or going through some challenges in life that you just don't know whether you'll get through, then this is the perfect tarot reading for you. And how this video works is that I have 4 groups prepared for you and I will be introducing you to these 4 groups in just a moment's time, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. Go with whichever group that your intuition is drawing you towards. And of course, if you absolutely cannot make up your mind, then feel free to tune into 2 or more readings, because sometimes your personal reading may be a mixture between multiple groups. Alright you guys, so the 4 groups I've got prepared for you today are as follows. Group number 1 corresponds to the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck. Group number 2 corresponds to the Pink Pain Tarot deck. Group number 3 corresponds to the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck. And group number 4 corresponds to the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians Oracle deck. The timestamps to all 4 of these groups can be found below in the description box, as well as pinned to the top of the comment section for quick and easy access from your laptops, mobile devices, TVs, and smartphones. So I will now provide you with a little moment of privacy. Feel free to pause the video right here if you need a moment to pick the perfect group for yourself. And then I'll be right back to guide you into your readings with every single message that future you needs current you to know right now. Alright, my beautiful soul, by now you've hopefully been able to select one of these 4 groups, and I can't wait for us to get into your readings. I will be starting off the readings with group 1, which corresponds to the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck. So if this is the group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, my beautiful soul of group number 1. You chose the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck to help guide you to uncover all of the important messages that your future self has for you, so we can reveal them here within this reading. My name is Vanessa and I, and to date, I have published thousands of individual readings on my YouTube channel, and I cannot wait for us to use my divine insights and psychic abilities to uncover more of the messages that you must receive from future you. So if you have sat back as of recently and asked yourself, what would future me do? What would my future self tell me to feel right now? How would future me handle this situation? Well, you're in the right spot on the internet. First up, we've got new beginnings. Now, future you wants you to understand that you've got new beginnings just around the corner for you, group number 1. If you have been stressing out about life being in shambles or going through a lot of challenges that seem like insurmountable obstacles to overcome, know that new beginnings lay right ahead of you. Life is going to go through a fresh, new, exciting, and invigorating cycle that you absolutely didn't expect. So if you're going through a lot right now, group number 1, and life seems like you need a reset, like if you had a reset button on life, man, you would have pushed that a long time ago. I want you to know that reset is coming to you very, very soon. I see here within power that this will bring the power back for you. Future you is trying to say to you, hey, you have got more power to shape and create the life that you desire than you have realized as of recently. You know this. You understand that you play a huge role and factor in how your life goes, but as of recently, you have allowed for some insecurities to creep in and make you feel more powerless than you truly are. And if you agree with this, group number one, if this resonates with you, leave a lightning bolt emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you've chosen group number one, because that's the only way we would know that you chose group number one, and also to affirm that you are indeed taking your power back and that you're in agreement with future you, that you are more powerful than you've been giving yourself credit for, and you're going to step back into your personal power and start this new beginning with a huge bang. Now, next up here within inner peace, future you wants you to stop stressing out. Your future self would say to you right now, what has stressing over a situation ever done for you? How has it ever made your love life better? How has it ever put more money in your bank account? How has it ever gotten that exam to be passed with amazing grades? You just sitting there and stressing and overthinking and ruminating. Please let me know, group number one, because I am also dying to know how stressing out has ever helped you. But all jokes aside and all kind of sarcasm put to rest, I want you to know here within inner peace and the koi that future you is trying to say to you, inner peace is something that comes with time, with age, and with maturing, and you will have an abundance of it. The koi fish is representative of an abundant life, of an abundant source that you have access to. And I want you to understand that this is actually a really, really positive foreshadowing of your new beginnings and stepping into more of your personal power. Now, we also received the tiger. The tiger is an indication of courage and strength and also rarity. Your future self is trying to say to you that you are a rare person. You are a rare breed. You are a jack of all trades in the best possible way. And you are also the type of person that anyone can speak to about anything without fearing that you will judge them. And that actually makes for a great person who is a teacher, a counselor, a therapist. Also, for example, hairdressers, people who do nails and other beauty treatments, aesthetic treatments, nurses, they are the ones who really thrive in this tiger energy, because guess what? Anyone can talk to you in any life situation that they're in, and they understand that their secrets are safe with you. So I do see here within the tiger as well that your future self wants to say to you that you are intimidating in the best way. Let's explain why, group number one. Now, you being intimidating and scaring certain people off may in the past have seemed like a weakness, but what it really is, group number one, it's just divine protection. Because when you're intimidating to people who want you to lower your standards, and we just spoke about this in our live the other night. I did a free live Google Meets. If you want to join those in the future, just make sure you watch the space, you check out the description box of my videos, my latest videos, you follow me on Instagram, check out my story, because I always post about upcoming lives on there. And of course, also if you've purchased anything from my store, then you are on the email news list, you will receive notification of lives happening, and then you can join. So what I was trying to get to is in the last live, you and we spoke about elevating your standards, keeping them high, and moments in which those elevated standards actually improved your life. And the whole message here is that when you elevate your standards, it will remove people out of your life. It will remove frenemies out of your life. It will extract family members that don't actually want the best for you out of your life. It will remove situationships quickly, because they will be able to tell that you're not one to mess with, and also that you are just not the type of person that is going to settle for their low effort vibrations. So I do want us to add another card from this beautiful spirit animal oracle deck into the reading. So Spirit is guiding us towards this card. It feels right. And we've got the hawk. I want you to see here within the hawk that this is a symbol of being watched over. Future you is trying to say that you do have people watching over you more than you actually thought. And what I also am getting here is that your social media is being stalked. There is someone who is stalking everything that you're doing, and you have a gut feeling about who this may be, and they're doing so from like an incognito account so that you can't figure out that this is actually what they're doing all day, every day, because they would be embarrassed for you to find out. That's what I see here within the hawk. And future you wants you to post deliberately in a way that resonates for you, not because you want your exes or past situationships to see that you're actually doing amazing and that you don't care about them. Don't do all of that. Post authentically, post as though you would anyways, even if you hadn't had exes and all of these like frenemies in your viewing list of your stories, and just be yourself without overthinking that. Just because you're watched over doesn't mean that you have to perform for them. Remember that. Now, moving on, the rose quartz brings us the message from future you to open up your heart to new possibilities. When this card shows up, it is a symbol, it is a sign that it is now time for you to open up your heart to a new connection. Opening up your heart to a new connection doesn't always have to be a romantic one, even though it can be. However, this can also mean a new person entering your life in the form of a new family member, a new baby being born, a new pet that you're taking into your home, that you're taking into your kind of heart space, if you will. You're welcoming them and you're allowing for that relationship to start to blossom. So the rose quartz is not only a stone of love, but also of platonic connection. But I do also want you to see here within power in the rose quartz that future you is saying to you that you are the powerful one in romantic relationships, and you haven't realized how much power you hold in your romantic life, because the rainbow obsidian shows us that you needed a lot of time to heal your heart. You've been doing the work, you've been doing the healing, you've been doing the entire revamp of how you feel about yourself, like writing down affirmations, positive affirmations about yourself, writing down ways in which you are an amazing person, chanting it, meditating, saying it out loud, speaking it into existence. I see with the rainbow obsidian and the rose quartz that you have been putting in the heavy work, group number one. And I'm so proud of you for this, and I hope that you know just how beautiful and meaningful it is that you are such a thoughtful individual, that you are such a driven individual, and that you are learning to put yourself first and to love yourself before you allow for anyone's dusty son or daughter to bring you out of balance or out of character. You're not doing that anymore. Now, the ocean jasper shows us that your schedule is all you. And this applies even for those who are in relationships and marriages. Like when you put yourself first, when you don't care too much about the other person, as heavy as it sounds, they gain more interest in you. You become more interesting, you become more attractive, you become a lot more appealing to be around, because guess what? People do value what is hard to get a lot more than something that's always there and always accessible. And we are real on this channel. We're honest. We're not going to sugarcoat things. And the truth of the matter is, even if someone loves you dearly, even if you are in a committed, beautiful relationship, chances are, if you're always there at their beck and call, if your partner always has access to you, never sees you going out with friends, never sees you doing your own thing, you're just 100% centered around the relationship and all of your attention is placed on their existence, chances are over time you will become less interesting, and in a way they will value you less, because for some reason internally, subconsciously, they know you're always there anyways. So there are little micro forms of taking you for granted that will start to reveal themselves, and I want you to not fall into that, which is why future you is also giving you this message to keep yourself interesting. Do your self-care, schedule yourself in. You've always wanted to try Pilates? Google a local Pilates class, go there, schedule it in. You've always wanted to get your nails done, you've always wanted to get your hair sorted. Find the best salon that you can go to, spend the day there, and make sure that you are aligning your life. That is what future you is saying to you right now. What is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? And how can you extract that? Because if there are things that are just not in alignment with who you truly are, like, for example, not taking care of yourself anymore, not putting yourself first, not scheduling yourself in, kind of losing yourself in a romantic relationship, it's time to step out of that vibration and to come back into alignment with who you are, to reconfigure your true self. Now, within you're already doing it, your future self is also telling you to stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. And I have fallen into this for a while. I feel like for the past months, I have been figuring out how to get out of it. And it's about overthinking and not understanding, hey, you're already doing it. So when you're overthinking, like when I'm, for example, overthinking how I can make my setup even more gorgeous, how I can offer you even better different types of readings, whether it's on Patreon, whether it's the daily readings that I send to your inbox, all of these different offers that I have available when I'm thinking of how can I just up the quality, how can I make it even better. I'm overthinking and I'm not realizing, hey, you're already doing it. You're already bringing the messages. You're channeling from the ancestors, from the future self. And there's nothing that you need to overthink here. You've been doing this literally for years. You've done thousands of readings and you have come to a point where you have such a beautiful following that is here to support. And I want you to remind yourself that you've got the same. You've already been doing it. You've been putting in the work. You've been putting in the time to heal, to revamp, and to take care of your mental health. And also to make yourself this person who is not a project. So remind yourself like you're already doing it. Keep facing your true north, which means to keep facing what is authentic to you and where you know that your strength and your greatness lies, and continue to double down on that, group number one. So at this point in your reading, I am going to clear and cleanse the space because I know that Spirit has a lot more messages from future you that we are meant to uncover here. So group number one, just hold on tight. You don't need to do anything but continue to receive these messages and your reading. I will now proceed to clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back so we can delve even more deeply into your prediction. All right, group number one, did you miss me? Let's get a little more deeply into these future self messages, shall we? So I'm using my Gentle Heart Tarot deck, and first up we've got the World, which I just want to congratulate you on, because the World is basically the best card of the entire tarot deck. There are two parts of a tarot deck. There's 78 cards, and there's a major arcana and a minor arcana. The World belongs to the major arcana, which goes from 0 up until 21. The World corresponds to number 21, which means that this is the last card of the major arcana. Now, this being the last card of the major arcana shows complete fulfillment, serenity, and having everything that you could want. The World card, when this shows up, this shows success, completion, your life being in an amazing place where you're actually going to wonder why you were so worried, why you were overthinking things, and why you were literally so hard on yourself. And future you is trying to say this to current you. Stop being so hard on yourself. You've got the world as your oyster, and sooner rather than later, you will actually find that the world is yours. Next up, we have the Nine of Diamonds, and the Nine of Diamonds showed up in reverse. So we're going to read this card reversed as well, because you guys know I like to incorporate that into my readings, the reversed meanings. Now, the Nine of Diamonds in reverse shows us that why at the moment it seems far-fetched and it may seem like there's still so much to do, so far to go, is because there are some delays in the earthly outcomes of some of the work and some of the efforts that you've been putting in. By delays, I mean delays in getting those results financially, delays in getting results when it comes to an exam that you've taken, delays in finally living in your own home, driving your dream car, having that business that creates another stream of income, another stream of passive revenue. So because you feel as though you're behind and there are people younger than you who have already done more, or quote unquote more successful, made more money, it can feel as though you're just trickling, meanwhile others' abundance is flowing. But please don't be fooled by what you see on the internet. A lot of it is not real, a lot of it is fake, a lot of it is exaggerated, and you are already in an amazing spot, especially if you actually look at where you started and also where some other people are that you went to school with, that you started this journey, this thing called life with in kindergarten and middle school. Not to say that you should compare someone else to you in order to like elevate yourself by judging them and their slower progress, but sometimes it is interesting to see how you have developed in comparison, because as human beings, I think a comparison can be positive, but it can also be detrimental, and it is the thief of all joy if you start going on the internet and comparing yourself to the 0.1% of people that post perfect stories and reels, and your guides are trying to say to you that you're doing everything right now. Future you is giving you a full body yes. If you've asked yourself whether you're on the right path, group number 1, it is a full body yes. It is a clear green light from future you about where you're headed and what you're doing. So if you've been worried about whether you will actually have the rewards set in financially, also with your health, if you've been eating more healthily and working out, but you don't feel like you see a change in your body, this yes is a very happy, fulfilled yes. This is not a yes that is saying yes to something challenging. This is a yes that shows us you've got another thing waiting for you in the best possible way. And future you wants you right now to receive this message of staying positive. Don't step out of the energy of believing in yourself and believing in all of your efforts that you have put in. Don't step out of the energy of gratitude. Once you step out of that frequency, you become prone to misfortune. So remain positive, remain on the frequency and in the energy of abundance, and then it will be unlikely that anything will happen that won't serve you. So future you is trying to say to you that the likelihood decreases of things happening that are detrimental the more you remain positive and the more that you stay in this full body yes of your success. I love where this reading is headed, group number 1. I absolutely love all of the messages that we're receiving. They are enlightening, they are really beautiful, and I can't wait for us to add some more messages from future you. Future you is here right now giving you this peacock spirit within your reading to remind you to let it shine, to not be afraid to be yourself. Even if that means you're eclectic, you're different, you're wearing bold colors, you are someone who physically also just doesn't blend in. When you look at photos of yourself already as a kid, like in kindergarten or at anyone's like birthday party, and you look at photos of yourself and you stick out, you're different. It was already clear then that you're meant to have a really unique place and path in this world. I want you to know here that this is further confirmation in the peacock spirit that you can't help it anyways. Why try to hide? Why try to hide something that can be your biggest strength? And for me, group number 1, for example, as a kid, I grew up partially in Switzerland. And when I came to Switzerland, because I am Swiss, and I went to school here, everything was so different. And literally there was almost nobody in my town even that was a person of color, let alone in my school. I was like the only one in the entire like middle school. Maybe there was one other person. So of course I have like curly hair because I'm mixed race, etc. And that made me really different. And a lot of people made fun of me, bullied me, put me down for it. And I'm so grateful that I had a mother who always told me your hair is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and they're just jealous. And today at 27 years old, I have such beautiful, big, luscious hair because I take care of it and I let it shine. All right. I take good care of it. And I am the person now that people come to and they compliment and they say, wow, this is so beautiful. I've never seen such big, natural hair like you have. So be open to the fact that what seemed like it made you different in a bad way is actually something that, yeah, may have just stemmed from a place of jealousy. And as you grow older and as you embrace it fearlessly, people will come to you and actually tell you how beautiful and amazing that this thing is that makes you different, whether it's your style, whether it's your hair, whether it's your face, the way that you conduct business. I want you to know here in the starfish spirit that your future self is telling you to be open to the possibilities that come from that. You will have opportunities and possibilities come your way that you never expected through the things that make you so different. Allow for me to explain to you. The starfish spirit shows us that because you are different, because you are the black sheep, you will have a different set of possibilities brought to you. Shortly after receiving this tarot card prediction, I want you to check your emails. I want you to check your inbox and especially the junk folder, because there is an opportunity in there that you actually did not know, you didn't notice. But now that you received this reading, which you had to receive at this point in time, there's a reason you're here right now, group number 1, listening to your tarot card reading. You are able to access that opportunity and that possibility, and it's going to bring you abundance. Future self is confirming. Check that junk folder, group number 1. Check the mail, group number 1. Make sure that you listen to those voice notes, those voicemails on your phone is what I meant to say. And I do see here that future you is confirming that there is more abundance available for you than you actually knew was around. But it's about not just being open to it to even see it, but actually also checking, actually also making sure you are available for it. Now let's move a little more deeply into your reading. We've also got solitude for you. Now, future you is saying that solitude is your best friend at this point in time. You are the type of individual that really thrives within solitude because a part of you is just so creative, so free when you're by yourself and you don't have to deal with other people. And the thing here within solitude is that it doesn't have to be lonely. Introverts recharge their energy in solitude, because if you're an introvert, then being around a lot of other people is just going to drain you, and it's going to make you feel like you have given a lot of your energy up just to be in a social situation. Now, if that sounds familiar, if that is you, because group number 1, I am sensing here within your reading that solitude is something that allows you to also step into your personal power, because you can online shop, you can plan outfits, you can play around with makeup, you can play around with how you want to do your hair, you can journal, you can really work on yourself internally and externally. And then when you do step out into the world, you have taken that private moment, private time to do so. And then you feel really confident about how you're stepping out, because you actually had the opportunity to take time to really like revamp yourself and turn yourself into who you've always wanted to be. So being alone, that's what your future you is saying to you, is actually really healthy, even though it might sometimes feel a little depressing. If you look at your friends who have like these relationships, family, and they are a lot more social, you feel, and sometimes you think you're a hermit or you get FOMO, fear of missing out. You're not missing out on anything, group number 1. You're doing amazing. We've got the rose quartz again. Group number 1, rose quartz is really your stone. And just in case you didn't know, we have rose quartz all over our reading setup here. It is the stone of love, of abundance, of friendship, of care. And this showing up within your reading twice just shows that your future self is trying to say to you that love and care and friendships, all of this is meant to be part of your life's quest and journey. So even if you are single, please, like, don't worry. Don't feel like you'll never find anyone or like something is wrong with you. You are meant to have all of that. You are meant to have an abundance of love, but the thing is, you're not meant to have that with just anyone. You're meant to have that with a very special someone. And the tourmalinated quartz is a message from future you telling you to get out of your own way. How many times have you allowed overthinking to stop you from actually putting yourself out there the way you wanted to? How many times have you overthought how you will set up your own YouTube channel where you maybe post your own psychic readings, your own videos on self-development, your own videos that will help people and entertain them, and then you never got around to doing it because you got in your own way of overthinking it, of asking yourself, is it good enough? Maybe you even compared some of your things to my channel or to my posts or to my quality or whatever it is. And I want you to step out of that and to remind yourself you're just getting in your own way. You are you. You're a 1 in 8 billion, and you will do things exactly how you want to do things. You don't have to adhere to how everyone else has already done it. We want to see you being unique. And I want to also remind you really quickly, but in a very deep, profound, honest way, that when I started doing readings, my aesthetic was not a thing. Like the bright white pastel colors and the cute cards, it was not a thing. I created this. I created my aesthetic, my vibe. Of course, it's been copied since then because that is just what happens, but it didn't exist. And I also asked myself, am I too much of a light worker kind of energy? Is my channel one that is like too different from the other ones? But I stepped out of getting in my own way. I continued to post. I continued to develop my readings the way I wanted them to be and the way I felt like they were the most valuable to my viewers. And look where we are today, group number 1. And I want you to get out of your own way of overthinking and to do the same for yourself and your future. We've got Unbound next. So you are releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. It is time for you now, that's what your future self is saying, to stop overthinking the past and to release some contracts that you had. And contracts show up in the form of lessons, hard lessons that you feel like you have to learn over and over and over again. You know, being too nice to people and them taking advantage of you, yeah, that's an old contract. That's an old soul pattern that needs to be released. That is a lesson that you have learned that you no longer need to have show up within your life. And we have aligning your life again. Spirit is putting a lot of synchronicities to reiterate messages from your future self about letting go what is no longer in alignment with who you truly are. And what's no longer in alignment with who you truly are, your future self is telling you that being too nice to people where you already have this gut feeling that first of all, they wouldn't do the same for you. And then second of all, you may be putting yourself in a situation where you will be disappointed. Just extract yourself. Don't make promises. Always tell people you will get back to them. Don't make promises on the spot. Get grounded first. Your future self is telling you no matter what it is, whether it's promising someone you just met that you will help them or spend time with them, because you know once you set that date, when the day rolls around, you're not going to want to even leave your house. We know this, group number 1. Same goes for work, contracts, and opportunities. Yes, you may have this opportunity right before you, but don't sign the dotted line immediately. Get grounded. You are an empath. You are a highly sensitive person. Go meditate and connect with nature first. Consult with other people that you trust, possibly even a lawyer if it's something like an employment contract. Get grounded and then decide to sign and then decide how you want to move forward. I just want to make it abundantly clear that future you is protecting you in this way and reminding you of the fact that you often say yes to things and then it is detrimental to you because you always put others first and yourself last. You often put others first before you've even thought of yourself. And group number 1, your future self is trying to tell you this lesson doesn't need to be repeated. You've been there, done there, got the postcard. We know you're an empath and a good person. Now it is time to get off the floor. You are not a doormat, and to put yourself first the way everyone else is doing, group number 1, because you deserve to. You deserve to have the life that you desire. You deserve to have nice things in your life. You deserve to be successful successful without always having to give up a little piece of what you've worked so hard for because someone just simply asks for it. You don't do that to others either. Yes, you may ask for help or support every now and then, but even that is very seldom, and you will never do it at the expense of someone else's success. So don't allow for others to do things like that at the expense of your success, because this is your life. You will have to deal with repercussions, not them. So this is your time, group number one, for you to put your dreams and your aspirations on a pedestal and to make sure that those become a reality. Now, group number one, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it mega insightful. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure that you do hit that subscribe button to never miss out on an upcoming piece of content. And group number one, wherever you are in this world, I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, my gorgeous soul of group number two. You chose the Pink Pain Tarot deck in order for us to receive the urgent and important messages that your future self has for you. My name is Vanessa and I, and to date, I have conducted thousands of individual card readings here on YouTube, but also offline, and I can't wait for us to channel these divine, mega accurate messages for you so we can figure out precisely what future you would say to you right now in this very moment. I want to remind you of the fact that you are here for a reason, group number two. There's a reason why you felt drawn to this video, why you clicked this reading and selected this group, and why we are now going to uncover these divine pieces of information for you. So I'm just shuffling your deck until I feel as though Spirit wants us to unveil the first message that your future self has for you. All right, first up, we have the Three of Bottles, but in reverse. Your future self is saying to you right now that it's okay that you don't have a huge squad and a huge friend group. It's completely fine that you're the type of person who prefers quality over quantity. And as a child or even as a teen, you may have felt as though you're weird, you're a loner, you're an outsider, and that you don't have very many friends, and that somehow speaks badly of you or makes you seem quote unquote like a loser, group number two. But I want to remind you of the fact here in the Three of Bottles reverse that people who really value their time and value close relationships and strong intimate bonds are often the ones who actually have support when they really need it. Because think about it, if you have a wide variety of friends, you may always have someone to go out with. You may always have someone inviting you to come somewhere. But in those moments where life is challenging, and you really feel down and out and you need real support, you need true friends, true people who are there for you and who really care about your well-being in good and in bad times, you will be so appreciative of the fact that you've got real ones around you and maybe fewer of them, but at least you can count on them when you need them, rather than a group of so many friends that aren't even really that close to you and don't even care that much if you win. Next up, we have the Six of Knives in reverse. Now, as we can see here within the Six of Knives in reverse, we've got these knives, we've got this almost like cat-like, feline-like creature, and we have this little like red symbol. It's almost like something hanging out of its head. And what the Six of Knives or Six of Swords, as it is in the traditional tarot, actually means is a time of recovery, and it is a time of traveling as well. So the Six of Knives and the Three of Bottles in reverse both show us here that it's better for you to travel and to heal with those you can trust, with those who are closest to you, rather than to be around a lot of people that you don't truly know. You don't truly know as deeply as you'd maybe like to trust them in the most challenging moments. Now, the Pink Pain Tarot deck is not called Pink Pain Tarot deck for no reason. A little bit of a tongue twister there. But here we have the Four of Knives, and fear not, I know these depictions are a little bit more dark, a little bit more vulgar, if you will. I personally really love this deck. And here within the Four of Knives, I can see that you are going to see very clearly in the next coming weeks and months who you want to keep in your life and who you're okay with losing. The Four of Swords shows us a time of rest, contemplation, and quiet preparation for the next stage within your life. And when you're in this time of quiet preparation, you don't need drama, and your future self is saying that you've had all of the information delivered to you about the people that you have in your life, and now it's time to decide based on that information. By information, I mean you saw how they react when you're in need, you saw how they are when you do something that pisses them off. Is that what you really want to deal with? Or are you deciding that you deserve better? The Ace of Knives shows us here it's time for a new beginning, as the ace always represents a fresh start. Depicted in this deck, we have this knife going through the fingers, and here what this means is a fresh start, as in cutting off what no longer serves you. This deck is very straightforward and blunt and to the point, and I hope that you can appreciate this, group number 2. If you are one of those people who can appreciate this bluntness, please do leave a little rainbow emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that not only did you choose group number 2, but you're also one of those people who likes aesthetics, but at the same time, you're also cool with a little bit of a darker approach to things, because you understand that we all exist in different facets and different ways, and we express ourselves differently, which is also why I love to show so many different cards on my channel, because it shows a variety of energies and moods and different card deck creators. Next up, we've got Pleiades. Now within Pleiades, you've got this double mission going on. You're channeling and uplifting humanity. That is what you're meant to do in this lifetime. Your future self is bringing you the important message that your positive and radiant energy is not to be taken for granted. I know it can sometimes feel as though it is not an inconvenience, but almost as though your positive energy is something that annoys others. You know, when others just want to be in a bad mood, when people want to be grumpy in the mornings and you're like, but why? There's no reason. Like, we got up this morning, we were able to open our eyes, see, walk, talk, whatever we were capable of doing that day. That in itself is something to be grateful for. And you bringing this positivity that others struggle to see and to actually embody, it is a gift. And your future self wants you to understand that actually this shows that you are just from a different planet, a different realm. Pleiades, quite literally speaking. And I do want you to understand that feeling a little bit of this extraterrestrial vibe, it just confirms that you are someone who is a little different and who may actually come from a completely different place within our galaxy. I see here within Take a Break that the message future you gives to you at this point is that it's a life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill, all right? You have been overworking yourself, group number 2. You've been working yourself to the bone. You've been doing too much. You have not been taking breaks. You are nearing burnout, and future you is not happy to see this. And future you is here to call you out in the most loving, kind way. And you know why that is. It's because future you can see precisely what kind of effect that this will have on you a couple months and years from now. And future you obviously doesn't want you to go down a route that is unhealthy and that you don't necessarily need to go down. Remind yourself that life is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Get off of the treadmill. It's time for you to ensure that you are also relaxing. Now, the cheetah shows us here that your concern is speed. You have FOMO. You don't want to miss out, and you also don't want to feel like you are behind. You look around you and everything seems to be happening so quickly. Well, rather than looking around you or looking on social media on reels and feeds and seeing how quickly everything seems to be moving, I want to remind you of the fact that we consume so much every single day, we forget that often the things that we are consuming takes a very long time to make and to create and to put out there. Even just this video that you're watching right now, the amount of time that it takes to set it up, to learn the cards, to film each individual reading, to edit it, to post it, all of these things, even the timestamps. I want you to understand here that while we have so much to consume, it seems like there's just so much being put out there so quickly. But at the same time, when you look at it individually, everybody needs a certain amount of time to accomplish their work, and you're allowed to have that as well. I want you to not undermine your personal speed because you are comparing it. Comparison is really the thief of all joy and feelings of pride in your own work, and it's time for you to honor the speed at which you go and to know that that is fast enough. You are as fast as you need to be, group number 2. The cheetah shows us you are elegant, you're fast, you know where you're going. But even cheetahs, they sprint and then they need a break. And your guides are trying to say to you, you are a cheetah at this point. And it might be time for you to take a little bit more time to focus on endurance rather than short spurts of inspiration and motivation. The cosmic egg is symbolic of you having the world at your fingertips and having opportunities that you are wrapped around. The cosmic egg shows us an egg filled with these different rainbow colors, if you will, or let's say all colors of the rainbow. That sounds better. And then we also have, of course, the serpent wrapped around it. Now, with the serpent that has its tongue out, I want you to understand here that you have already done a lot more than other people in your age and in your demographic, and you don't give yourself enough credit for that. Future you wants you to celebrate your wins along the way, not to burn yourself out and to overwork yourself before you finally give yourself a little bit of credit. What is that, group number 2? Why can we not just give you the credit that you deserve now, and for you to accept it, and for you to allow us to celebrate you? Because it's finally time that that happens. Now, the labradorite is indicative of seeing the magic. Future you wants to show you that life has so much magic around you that you may have not even noticed up until this point. And the magic happens when you take a break. I see that in connectivity to our card that we received earlier about it being a life's work, not just a season. All right, you have your entire life to work on things. And unless you take your foot off of the gas, unless you take a little step back to see things from a different viewpoint, you won't be able to see the magic in the small or the large things. And Spirit, your future self, they want you to see the magic in all of your accomplishments up until today. Now, the selenite shows us that there's a lot of clutter that future you wants you to get rid of right now. And I myself have clutter that I know I need to get rid of. Old clothing, old items, games, just random things literally sitting in my cellar in different boxes. And the thing is, I have started to clear out the clutter, but I still have a lot of progress that can be made. And your future self is kind of calling you out on this a little bit, group number 2, and telling you, hey, it's time for you to clear out the clutter. It's time for you to stop procrastinating this, because honestly, what are you doing with all this stuff that you don't need, that is just taking up room in your life and in your head? Remind yourself here within the vulture that you can always give things away to people that are more in need of it than you are, and who may like something that to you is not useful. And that's where the vulture comes into place. You know how vultures, they eat parts that are inedible to other living creatures? So for you, something may not be useful, a piece of clothing. It could be home decor, literally a pair of shoes that are uncomfortable for you that you can't wear. It can also be a kitchen appliance that you never use. You purchased it, it looked cute, you thought that you would use that little mixer thing, but it's just, there's no recipe that you ever want to make with it. And what the vulture shows us here is that there are people around you who would be really grateful for it and who actually would have a great use. And Immediate family is always a great place for you to ask, but donating is another way in which you can get rid of things. You can clear out what is clutter for you, but what is actually a really helpful tool for someone else. Next up here within the shark, I can see that future you wants you to remember that many occasions in life are very lonely roads. I know this is too real, too dark at times, group number 2, but no one cares as much about your success as you. You can have the most loving spouse and partner and boyfriend or girlfriend on the planet. I just want you to know here in the shark, at the end of the day, you are responsible for your success and you care more about your career and your success than they do. And it makes sense, right? Because they also should care more about their success and their career than you do. It doesn't mean that they can't care immensely and that they're not rooting for you, and vice versa. But what this just means is, like, if you aren't rooting for you, then how would anyone else go hard for you? If you are not convinced about your career, about your offerings, about what you can bring to the table, how can it be convincing to anyone else? And this is especially true for my fellow business owners and entrepreneurs. You have to remember that you must be confident in what you're putting out there. And if you're not confident in it, then adjust, make it better, evolve until you feel like it's good. But remind yourself here that it's no one else's responsibility but yours to be real with yourself about whether you need to work on the confidence aspect because what you've created is amazing, or if you need to make your creation a little different, if you need to put a little bit more sweat into it, if you need to roll up your sleeves and adjust it in a way that it becomes irresistible. And I know this is a very deep, very personal kind of reading. I hope that you can appreciate that we are a no joke, no BS channel over here, and we talk about everything in depth. And just because some things can be uncomfortable or make us feel called out, that doesn't mean that we're not willing to see it, to receive it, because in life, a lot of the most valuable things, the biggest accomplishments, have come with discomfort. That is true most of the time. And I love that we've created this space on the internet where we can have these intelligent and deep conversations about how we can elevate. Now, group number 2, I will cleanse and clear the space, and then I'll be right back so we can delve more deeply into your reading. I hope that you've enjoyed it up until this point. You don't need to lift a finger. All that you need to do is continue to lean back, relax, and enjoy your tarot reading. And I will be right back to guide you even more deeply into your prediction of all of the messages that future you has in store. Hello, group number 2, and welcome back. Let's move a little more deeply into these messages from future you to current you so you know precisely what to do today and moving forward. So we've got reconsider. Future you wants you to reconsider something. And I want us to get into the deets about what this may be, because future you is trying to say, oh, there is an area of your life in which you are considering making a choice that isn't in alignment with you. And I see here within action that it has to do with an area in your life in which you are not taking action. All right, reconsider why you're afraid to take action, and then ask yourself if it's really worth the procrastination. With reconsider and action, I do see that this has to do with how you're living your life and also with your career, your professional life. We've got a sword here, which is all about logic, and I see defying logic, so to say. When you hear that most YouTube channels or business owners, they don't make it, or they don't end up having a company that stays afloat and so on, sure, you can say that that's a higher probability, but at the same time, there are also so many people who do win, and that shouldn't stop you from taking action. So reconsider why you're afraid to finally launch that YouTube channel, why you're afraid to finally make your presence known on social media, and have your business thrive, why you are letting that stop you from taking action and actually finding out. And here, future you is trying to say to you, look, reconsider the inaction that's been happening. Like, it's time for you to take action, to take leaps, and reconsider what that would be like when you've got this new beginning, when you've got a new you, a you that isn't afraid to do things, a new you that isn't afraid to take action, to make things happen, and also to start some new chapters. And by starting new chapters, not every chapter is going to lead to love or riches or happiness. But hey, every chapter teaches you valuable lessons along the way. Every chapter brings you a little closer to those ones that you truly want to experience. And here, with an unlikely, Spirit is also trying to say to you that there is something going on in your life right now that is unlikely going to end up how you thought it would. And I want us to figure out what that is. I want us to figure out what is going on there. Okay, relaxation. My gorgeous souls of group number 2. Have you been considering taking a vacation or doing some relaxation? Because I do see here with an unlikely that you are a busybody. You are a busy bee. You try to relax. You try to go to bed early. And the likelihood of that actually being fruitful, it's often very low, honestly speaking, because you're just someone who has this racing mind. And within solitude, I do also see that part of this is because you're taking care of yourself a lot right now. So you take care of others as well, group number 2, that's not to take away from it. But in these moments where you are overworking yourself, where you want to take a break, but then when you finally get around to it, you feel lazy, or you think, oh, let me just do a little bit of laundry, let me just clean up here, let me just make this phone call, let me just do this little piece of work. And then you end up never actually relaxing or taking a break, and it's unlikely that you will ever find peace, that you will ever find a moment to recharge and actually feel as though your energy is back with you and like you have regained some energy. So sometimes it's great for you to actually have someone to hold you accountable. That's what I see here in solitude and relaxation. This is an unlikely combination to work, you by yourself relaxing. Try to actually make it almost like a challenge. Invite someone over for a chill evening. You can watch movies, you can put on face masks, you can just talk, relax, chill on the couch, and just do nothing. And I want you to understand here that the whole notion of the day you plant the seed is something future you wants you to understand also needs relaxation. The day you plant the seed of fruit that you are trying to pick and enjoy is not the day that you will harvest that fruit, right? When you plant the seed, you need to wait, you need to water, you need to fertilize, but mostly you need to wait. And that's precisely what your future self is trying to say to you. You've planted the seed, group number 2. You've put in a lot of work, but now it's also time to relax. Now it's also time to make sure that, yeah, you're watering and you are fertilizing, but you're also taking time to sit back, relax, and let things grow so that you actually have the energy once the fruit is there and ripe to even pick it. Because what a shame it will be when the fruit is there, but you're too exhausted and tired to notice it or to be able to harvest all of it. Next up, we have trust your intuition. Group number 2. Do you often question your intuition? How was it when you were picking this group? Was it a full body yes, or was it a little bit of a, ooh, I hope I'm picking the right group for myself. I hope this resonates. I hope I'm doing the right thing. I want you to know that if it was the latter, if you felt a little bit nervous or unsure whether you picked the right group, future you is trying to say that trusting your intuition is deeply connected to taking action. Because when you trust your intuition, you are more likely to also take action immediately. You're not putting things off, you're not waiting. When you trust yourself and your intuition, you're doing. You feel your intuition tell you precisely what to do, you go for it. You don't wait around, you don't question it, you don't ask yourself whether this is the right thing to do. So I do want you to understand here within Trust Your Intuition as well as action and relaxation that this all plays together with one another. This is all a game of taking action, knowing when to relax, trusting yourself when you are relaxing, and not feeling as though relaxation isn't productive, because it's not true. Even the most productive people on the planet, they need to relax, they need vacations. Group number 2, we have a few more messages. I am sure of that. I will now clear and cleanse the space, and I'll be right back with you. You don't need to do a thing or lift a finger, just continue to stay tuned as we delve even more deeply into these messages from your future self. All right, group number 2, let's see what we've got from future you that you need to hear right now, right here today. So we've got the rabbit spirit, the seahorse spirit, as well as the ant spirit reverse. Now, I want to talk about the ant spirit reverse because I am instantly getting a very clear visual from your future self about this. And the ant spirit reverse shows us that now is not a time to take on other people's opinions on board about what you want to do professionally. I see a lot of this fear that others are projecting onto you that has to do with your career, that has to do with your professional life. And these are not the type of people that you want to collaborate with, neither business-wise, neither with them sharing their unsolicited advice and fears and thoughts with you. The seahorse spirit and the rabbit spirit, on the other hand, this is your future self saying to you that now is a lucky time. The rabbit is a symbol of luck, and the seahorse is a symbol of watching and waiting, and understanding that exactly how you are doing things is how it will work out for you. Everybody has their own path and their own vision. Remember, your vision was given to you and not me for a reason, and vice versa. The same goes for your path. I have had my path with my business, with YouTube, with my personal life, with my own self-development, with my body image. I have had my own path, my own headaches, my own trials and tribulations, my own hurts, my own disappointments. And you have had that too. And your future self is trying to say to you that your path is unique and it's meant to be yours, and your path being different than other people's path doesn't mean that you won't get to the goal, that you won't get to that end spot that you want to be in. It just means that you are taking a route that is unique to you and your experiences, and it's just as valid as anyone else's path. So never allow for anyone to tell you otherwise, group number 2. Your path is important. It may be a path that others haven't seen up until now, but do not let that be your main concern as to why things are taking so long. Future you wants to remind you that now is a lucky time in your life. Now is a time of good fortune. Just watch and wait and see. Shortly after this reading, you will receive the most excellent news. I assure you of that. I promise you that. Future self is telling me that you didn't expect, and you will know, man, I am ready. I have been waiting for this for lifetimes. And now I finally get to step into my highest self. And you will think back at this future self reading, and I hope you come back and comment in the comment section and let me know your experience. And you will think to yourself, yeah, this is a lucky time, and I'm happy that I just watched and waited, that I gave things time to prepare themselves in the actual material realm for me, and that I didn't listen to other people's unsolicited advice that was fear-based. That's what I can see here within your reading, group number 2. And we've got remain positive for you. Now, future you wants you to remain positive and for you to remember the fact that sometimes when it doesn't look like you're getting all of the things that you want, and it looks like it takes time, remain positive, as that is going to attract more abundance into your life rather than repel the abundance. You are ready for what is to come next. You are ready for this lucky time. You are ready to finally receive the financial gains and the public recognition that you have worked so hard for. Watch and wait. Don't join others on tangents of complaining, of passing the buck. remember to remain positive, surround yourself with positive and like-minded individuals. Watch how things change on a daily basis for you, group number 2, because future you is telling you that there is a huge surprise coming sooner than you expected within your life, and you will know that you're ready. There will be no doubt. It will be so big that it will scare you, but at the same time, it is so abundantly clear that this is your opportunity and your time to shine, and you're going to take it immediately. You're going to have no doubts. Now, group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section. I love reading your comments. I try to reply to as many of them as I can. I always reply to comments on a daily basis, and I just want you to know that wherever you are in this world, I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you hugs. I'm grateful that we got to share this divine time and space with one another, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading about all of the messages that your future self has for your current self that are important and you must receive right now. Remember, there's a reason why you're here and why you chose this group and why you felt called to even click this video. So now let's get into it. Within this feather that you chose from the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck, we've got the Oriole. Now, this is a absolutely stunning bird that brings you the message that a new creative venture is on the horizon. See it as a positive change. So what's coming next for you, group number 3, is actually a creative venture on the horizon that does imply that there's a lot of work ahead of you and perhaps even a feeling of having to start from zero again. But future you is trying to say that this is a life-changing venture. This is a life-changing opportunity for positive change in the long term. The sea serpent shows us actually the image of not just a sea serpent, but this is also called an Ouroboros. You may be like, Vanessa, what is that? What is Ouroboros? Now, an Ouroboros is an ancient symbol of a snake biting its own tail, which we have here in form of the sea serpent. Now, the sea serpent shows us that when it comes to your feelings of success, future you wants to remind you that there will always be these transitions and different phases, different cycles. So it's never that you're starting from zero. It's just entering a new cycle, a new creative venture for new outcomes. And life will always be this way for you. So rather than feeling as though what's coming next is a lot of work and starting from the bottom and that you have to work yourself up to get to where you want to go, this is merely another phase, another part of your cycle to your own fullest exploration and living the life that you've always wanted to live. It's not starting from the bottom. You are not at the bottom, group number 3. And future you wants to remind you here within the deer that you have so often in your life taken the backseat, put others before you, been selfless, and given people the benefit of the doubt, where you didn't need to do that at all, but you just wanted to be a nice person. And now it is time for you here within the deer to actually protect yourself. And whenever you feel as though you're dealing with someone who's an energy vampire, you are in a situation where you can't actually thrive, move on, move away, skedaddle into the forest. Deers do not put up with predators, with wolves at all. And that doesn't mean that you are weak. It just means that you understand there's no point in dealing with this type of person. And the deer is actually indicative of you having a very gentle soul. The deer shows us that your future self is trying to say to you, not every battle is worth fighting, and it's important for you to know when to just leave the scene. And future you wants you to see that what comes next in your life creatively is a positive change. Even though you're starting small, remind yourself that all big things once started as a little fleeting idea. The crow shows us here that you will be able to receive something that looks really valuable and shiny. don't get carried away. Future you is saying to you that you have a lot more where that came from waiting for you. And what I mean by small, shiny, and valuable, I mean a piece of jewelry with a precious gemstone, something that has gold on it, literal gold, and something that you feel is now finally in your possession and is of some value, like you can resell it and actually make a profit on it. And I see here within the starfish that you're receiving this sooner than you expected on a special day. It is an anniversary or a birthday, and the starfish shows us that future you is reminding you of the fact that you have gone for so long being the person that always gives. It is now time for you to learn to receive and also to honor your gentleness. You are someone that I see here in the deer and the starfish that is really gentle. You like nice things, I see that in the crow, but you don't have shiny object syndrome at all. So while you may like nice things, you are not the type of person who's going to go out and buy an expensive pair of shoes or a bag or a piece of jewelry over paying for things that you must, like your rent, for example. And I want you to understand here that people like yourself need to learn to speak up for themselves and to stand up for themselves and to find a way in this world that can be harsh to create boundaries around yourself that still allows you to express your gentleness, that still allows you to be an empath, to be a kind, gentle person, because you will never be different. And that's one thing that future you is trying to tell you. Never try to change who you are, because there's no point. The authentic you is the most beautiful version of you, and there's no point in trying to deny it. The sodalite shows us that you are a very truthful person. People love it when you speak your truth. You are an amazing podcaster. You may not be a podcaster right now, group number 3, but future you is trying to remind you, you have stories to share. You have tales to tell. And the sodalite shows us that for you, your future self is saying that your story will be shared either via an email list or Instagram Reels or coming on a podcast, being in your local newspaper or TV station, being invited to share your story, and that speaking your truth is going to show everything that you've been through, how you've still managed to keep a kind heart and kind, empathetic nature. And the rainbow obsidian shows us that future you understands that you are an inspiration to how one can heal their heart. So a lot of people have gone through similar experiences like you have, but it has hardened them, it has changed them, it has turned them into someone they don't want to be. And group number 3, part of your life purpose is to share this strength and to show people in a very inspiring way that regardless of what they may have experienced and been through, they don't have to allow that to callous them and harden their heart and never let anyone in again. You're a prime example of how forgiveness, being a gift to you, not someone who wronged you, is actually so freeing and healing. Now, the ocean jasper gives us this message from your future self that you should schedule yourself in now. And a message that I'm seeing here from future you is a hairdresser appointment. When was the last time you went? When was the last time you actually got pampered? When was the last time you scheduled self-care in that you actually also splurged on yourself? And self-care, why I'm getting hair for some reason is because within the deer and the crow, we have this very gentle, fine hair texture and hair that is, it's not that it's brittle, but you definitely have to be delicate with your hair. It's definitely hair that takes time to deal with, to comb through, to moisturize. And I want you to know here in the ocean jasper that it's not just you that must take care of your appearance, but it's also important for you to sometimes give that job to someone else. We live in a world where there are so many professions, whether it be people who give massages, who do hair, who do nails, who do body scrubs. it is completely fine for you to enjoy these luxuries and to understand like you deserve this, group number 3. Why are we not giving ourselves this VIP treatment? Why are we not allowing ourselves to just be treated like almost like a star or like a celebrity? That's what future you is asking you. And future you wants to say to you, start now, because having a self-care routine, taking time out for you, if you start now, you will make it a habit. And in the long run, it's going to be so important and so helpful for maintaining good mental health, especially when you've got a soul family, a real family of your own. That will keep you in balance and make you someone who they can depend on, and your family won't feel as though you are just a mess or someone who is super emotionally like volatile and unregulated. So within soul family, I can see that you don't need to do things alone. You don't need to do things by yourself. You can actually ask others for help, and future you is trying to say, you know, sometimes it is great for you to be independent and for you to do your own thing, but sometimes it's also just really not necessary, group number 3, and a lot of people would love to help you. I see here in the deer that sometimes you give this damsel in distress kind of vibe off, and don't let your ego get in the way and try to prove that like, no, I can do it by myself, like at work. If there is a task that someone wants to help you out with because maybe you've never done it before, or it's just like heavy boxes that need lifting, sure, you can do it by yourself. Just like the other day, I can mow my lawn myself, but someone was like, hey, let me help you out. I have a better lawnmower. I have a better system for this. Why not, group number 3? It doesn't make you any less capable or independent. It just shows here that you're not afraid to accept help and that you're not afraid to say yes to new encounters. I see here within Align Your Life that we have a little bit of a shattering that's coming that your future self wants to warn you of, because it can be difficult when we slowly start to realize we're transforming out of what we thought we were. Because as human beings, it's like we're constantly reinforcing this person that we think we are. We think I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse, I'm an accountant, I'm a YouTuber, I'm an entrepreneur. We keep reinforcing that day in and day out. And then when something challenges the vision that we have of ourselves, the picture that we have of who we are, it can feel like something is breaking us, like this shattering of an image we had of ourselves. It's like if you look in the mirror and you were to have a mirror with a crack, and all of a sudden you look completely different than you remembered. And it can be hard to associate with this. But your future you wants you to ask yourself, what is no longer in alignment with who I truly am? And if something is no longer in alignment with you that was once so close and near and dear to your heart, this is just a sign. This is just symbolic of needing to grow, of needing to move on. I used to be the person who definitely identified a lot with things in my external appearance that now they just don't align anymore. I do it for fun. I wear makeup because I want to. I wear wigs and outlandish costumes because I love it. But what completely changed is the need to do it every day. What completely changed was the need to do my makeup in a way that was conventionally attractive and suitable for the male gaze, for example. And when that image shattered, it was like, that's actually not me. It never was me. I was just conditioned to be this person. And in a way, I fell into it, and it was the norm, and all of the girls and women were doing it, but it had nothing to do with who I was or my most authentic self. Group number 3, I feel called to clear and cleanse the space so we can delve even more deeply into these messages from your future self that are important for you to receive right now. You don't have to do a thing. Just continue to lean back, relax, and enjoy your reading. I will clear the space and be right back so we can receive even more messages that you must hear. Welcome back, group number 3. So let's delve a little more deeply into these urgent and important messages from your future self. So we've got a few letters that we intuitively received from future you. We've got GED, we've got NS, and I. So one thing that I'm getting here is dine. So we received dine as well as S and G. So your future self wants you to go out for dinner with this individual whose name starts with S or G and whose last name also has the S or the G within the first letter. So going out for dinner, spending time in a place that you wouldn't usually be in, spoiling yourself. Future you wants you to have the best time, okay? Future you wants you to live your life. Next up, we've got rehabilitation. Another thing that I'm definitely getting here within your future self reading is that you've gone through a lot, group number 3. Like, it's time for a little bit of rehab. And I don't mean actual rehab. I mean rehabilitation in the sense of taking yourself out of stressful situations, okay? Going on vacations and trips just because, just for you. Spending the weekend in doing nothing as much as you possibly can. I know it's not always easy if you've got dogs or children or a partner that needs a lot of your attention, and sometimes it can feel like you have this obligation to be there for absolutely everyone. But going on date nights is really important, and sometimes even doing that by yourself too and not feeling guilty for it. That's one thing that future you wants to speak of and future you wants you to remember. Also, trust your intuition popped right out of the pile as I was about to shuffle. Don't worry about rubbing someone the wrong way or being quote unquote selfish. Trust your intuition on going out and dining out, having a good time, spoiling yourself. Group number 3, you've got one life to live. What are we waiting for? And in Queen of Everything, future you wants to remind you of the fact that you are a boss, group number 3. Like, you have this very, very like outlandish side to you that can be bossy, that can be direct, that can be so different than how you are on a day-to-day basis, where people are like, hold up, I didn't know you had this side to you. I didn't know you were this much of like a G, basically. And I do see here within Queen of Everything that future you wants you to remember your personal power, wants you to remember you are more attractive than you give yourself credit for. You are stronger than you have been giving yourself credit for. And also, why are you allowing for other people to make you feel like they are the prize? They may have thought that they were the prize until they met the prize, which is you, group number 3, which is my gorgeous soul watching this reading right now. There's a reason why you're receiving this message. There's a reason why you're here, why you're in this space on the internet, why you're subscribed to my channel. And it is for you to receive this confirmation that actually stepping back into that energy, stepping back into that confidence that you had at one point. And when you look back at it, you're like, I don't know how I thought I was all that, but I did at one point. And I confidently walked into rooms without ever thinking that I didn't belong there. Let's get that back, group number 3. Next up here, we've got the hummingbird for you. This is an indication that your future self wants you to make some little tweaks to your appearance. And by little tweaks, I want you to know that this means optimizing things such as your oral care. Make sure that you are flossing. I know flossing is really annoying and it's so easy to skip it, but it's so essential to not getting cavities. Another thing here with the hummingbird that future you wants you to do is to use some really divine oils on dry patches on your skin, and also ensuring that you're leaving out any scents that are chemical or like man-made. You don't need anything with perfume in it. It just dries out your skin. It dries you out in general. Next up, we've got the dragonfly. So future you can see a big transformation that's coming on the physical plane, and you kind of taking a little bit of a risk. So maybe you've thought of doing some sort of like facial or non-surgical treatment and enhancement. And future you is saying, look, if that's what you want, don't deprive yourself of it, but also Do your research and ask yourself if the side effects or possible risks are worth it to you, and ensure that you're doing it in a safe environment. The hummingbird shows that there's so much that you can do with little things such as great skincare, amazing makeup, supplements, eating more healthily than you currently are, that can have a huge impact on how radiant that you actually appear to others. And future you is trying to say, now's the time for you to research these things, and it doesn't need to be hard. Google in what ways that is actually good for you or serves you, and then have more of it within your life. Like if you, for example, are the type of person who doesn't actually like that many healthy foods, but you love berries, Google what is healthy in berries, incorporate that into your routine, incorporate that into your diet more than anything. You don't have to make it hard for yourself. If you don't like working out, but you like walking in the forest, go get those 10K steps every single day. You guys know I post those frequently on my Instagram story. It's not hard to do, it's fun. Now the bee spirit is reminding you that sweet results await, and future you is giving you this in form of the number 7, as well as this beautiful symbol of the bee. Future you wants you to understand that your hard work will be rewarded, that you are the type of person that others deem as trustworthy, and that amazing results await you even when it feels like you just want to crawl into bed and sleep all day. The spider spirit is that confirmation that in order to make your dreams real, you have to spin a web, you have to cast a web, some sort of net, in order to catch anything, right? Just as spiders, a lot of spiders, they create webs, and that is how they can catch their prey. That is how they sustain themselves. That is how they're able to eat, basically. And I would say the ones that spin webs, when they spin them in the right places, if you've ever seen it, there can be a lot of prey in there. There can really be a lot of little insects that fly into that web, and they don't stand a chance, and the spider has an abundance of food. And of course, there are also spiders that don't spin webs, that just basically hunt their prey, but that is like an effort every single time, whereas the ones that create a web can just kind of take, receive, and eat in abundance if they spin it in the right place. So Spirit wants to tell you that your future self is here to say, we need to spin this in the right place. We need to create something that makes our life easier in the long run. Delayed gratification of an amazing web that we've created. Now, the Nightingale Spirit brings you a really wholesome message from future you, that if you've worried about your self-care in the sense of love, if you have had worries about romantic love and where your life is going to end up when it comes to love, romantically speaking, stop worrying about this. Future you is reminding you of the fact that you are a lovable person. You are the type of person that is worthy of amazing things happening to them romantically as well. Stop feeling so self-conscious. Stop feeling as though there is some sort of reason why you are not finding that lover, that forever person, and that reason is you, or that maybe it will never happen for you. It is so easy to get to that conclusion when you feel as though love has never truly worked out for you. But group number 3, future you knows that when it comes to romantic love, there is nothing to fear. Let's move a little more deeply into it. We've got the 5 of Crystals reversed. Now, this card showing up in reverse from my Gentle Heart Tarot deck is indicative of a lot of challenges being alleviated, being a lot easier for you to deal with, and challenges no longer seeming as big as they used to be. So you've kind of gone through so much group number 3, that nothing surprises you anymore, and also people don't surprise you anymore. The 6 of Swords shows us that you have become this person that doesn't really get moved by little things. You don't sweat the small stuff, and this is especially because of the experiences that you've had at the hands of other people that were not always pleasant, but hey, it's made you stronger. And your future self is trying to say to you that they are proud of you, they love you, they are so proud of how far you've come, how much you have been able to overcome and to thrive, and what an amazing person that you've turned into and where you're still going. So future you just wants you to understand that in those moments where you feel a little bit like life is just a merry-go-round of different experiences that aren't easy. You've done a lot, and it's understandable that you're tired when it comes to certain things, but hey, give yourself a little credit. Now here within the younger man, we do have spirit communicating with you that there will be dealings or a relationship with a younger man in your future. Now, they don't have to look precisely like this. This is about them being a younger man. And this younger man is someone that will have an impact on your life that you didn't expect. An impact that is one that makes you feel as though, yeah, this is exciting. This is really fun. I see that here within the firecracker. So someone who has an extremely young spirit and young, youthful appearance that brings excitement into your life, group number 3, that makes you feel as though you are just here to enjoy, you're just here to experience, and you're, quite frankly speaking, grateful that this younger man has appeared in your life at just the right time, because who doesn't like a little bit of fun, youthful, bubbly energy within their life? Not that you're old, group number 3, but it's like having someone fun by your side, having someone who has a lot of energy and does things for you and wants to make you laugh and smile. That is definitely something that in many ways is irreplaceable. Now, group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you, and I hope that you found it insightful, and I hope that this gave you a lot of insight as to what future you wants you to know. Let me know below in the comment section, and don't be shy. Leave a little bee emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you chose group number 3, because that's the only way one would know that you are part of group 3. Now, I'm sending you so much love wherever you are in this world, whether it's day or night, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, my gorgeous soul of group number 4. Welcome to your reading about the urgent and important messages that your future self has for you. You chose the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians Oracle deck in order to help guide you. And my name's Vanessa Somuayina. I will be your tarot reader and guide today once again. You guys know I've got thousands of individual readings published on my YouTube channel. And I can't wait for us to figure out in this reading precisely what your future self needs to say to you right now. Because your current self, let me tell you, group number 4, your current self is going to absolutely love and resonate with these messages. So let's get into it, my gorgeous soul. First up, we have got Bridget. And Bridget, your future self wants to remind you of the fact that you are a healer, you are a giver, you are naturally the type of person that makes other people's lives better. And in being a healer, it's important that you follow this path in an authentic way. Honor the gift that you were given as a healer. Some of us heal through music, others through actually working within healthcare. There are also healers who actually heal through words, through their writing. And I see here within Bridget that future you wants to remind you of your life path and your life purpose and of the things that actually make you excited to share. Now, let's see what else your future self wants to say to you. We've got Inanna. Inanna brings a message of believing in yourself. Future you wants to say to current you, why are you overthinking? Why are you worrying about whether you can do this? Why don't you believe in yourself more? Future you knows that you've got what it takes to get to your biggest dreams, goals, and aspirations. And your future self is trying to say to your current self, stop wasting time on sweating the small stuff or allowing for insecurities to even penetrate your mind. Believe in yourself. You are a healer. You are the type of person that is meant to make other people's lives better, and you will be rewarded for this greatly in large quantities. And Bridget, as well as Inanna, gives us this highly personal message for you, group number 4, that now is actually the time for you to embrace all of your quirks and the things that make you different, and perhaps even the black sheep in your family and the black sheep within your community. I see here within Adriad that the difference between you and others is that you put a lot of your energy into the things that you do. It's very personal. Whenever you do something for another person, you don't half-ass it. You always do 150% or nothing. And that's why it's also so important that you protect your energy. You see how we have Dryad sitting here alone and almost like this egg-shaped kind of opening. So behind this egg-shaped opening, you have your own cave, you have your own little rabbit hole situation. And future you is reminding you of the importance of your privacy, your personal space, going down your rabbit hole, be it watching endless amounts of YouTube videos that actually make you feel good. It could be reading, it could be cleaning your home, reorganizing something, cooking, watching documentaries and learning. I just want you to understand that future you is encouraging you to protect your energy now and to believe in yourself now, because why wait? When you believe in yourself, sky is the limit, and your future self knows this, group number 4, and wants you to always, always, always be in this energy of understanding that believing in yourself is a necessity to your success. Next up, we've got the hummingbird. Now, this shows a very fast movement. Your future self is trying to say to you, once you start believing in yourself and at the same time protecting your energy, everything will move way faster than it did before. So you will advance quicker in your career. Your love life will change in various ways as well. So lovers will either go or properly commit. And I see here within the owl reverse that the thing is, you are an old soul. You've always been wise beyond your years. And now it's time for you to actually have fun and to let others worry about organization. And in Bridget, as well as the owl reverse, I do see here that because you are naturally a healer, this can sometimes put you in positions where you have a lot more responsibilities than everyone around you. Plus, you got to take care of your loved ones because for some reason, you are like the mom of everyone, even the mom of your own mom. And I see here within the Panther that your future self is trying to tell you to sometimes just set boundaries and not always be parentified, like made the adult in situations, and to also have that childlike sense of wonderment and energy that you're able to enjoy, because otherwise you are literally just in service, just giving, and that can be really draining. Remember, Dryad is about protecting your energy. A message that you really need to receive is that you're the golden egg, you're special, you're one of a kind, and a lot of people can see that, and people with shiny object syndrome will want to have you as a trophy on one of their displays. And as you can see, the golden egg has all of this like hay, straw-like kind of substance around it. So it is to be protected and kept safe. And how better to keep yourself safe than to rely on yourself, protecting your energy and believing in yourself? Because in the golden egg as well as the panther, I see that there are a lot of people who want someone like you in their life romantically. And they want to be with you, and then they get so jealous and overprotective to the point where they are not allowing you to explore your highest self because they're constantly calling you. They want to know where you are, who you're going out with. They wish that you would literally just be theirs and almost like their property without having anyone else within your life. They're not going to say it openly, group number 4, but they feel as though they don't want someone else to experience this. And there are levels and degrees to this, but group number 4, you are meant to share your gifts. You are meant to be a healer to the world, and you can't be with someone that is stifling you. Your future self wants to remind you that jealousy isn't necessarily love. It's sometimes just possessiveness, and that has nothing to do with love when you don't allow for people to unfold the way that they need to. Now, in Tell It Like It Is, your future self, group number 4, is trying to get you to speak up for yourself when you don't like something right at the beginning. Now, I see that you've let things slide in past relationships with friends, but also romantic partners, and then it turned into a bigger problem. And I see here in the Panther, they started to get vicious. They started to get more and more disrespectful. And if you would have just told it like it is from the beginning and told them that you're not going to tolerate that, and then actually stood on it when they still decided to step out of the boundaries and disrespect you and call you out of your name or just say something that they know that you didn't like, you can't let that happen anymore, group number 4. It is about telling it like it is, standing on those boundaries, executing, and we don't need anyone trying to test them. Emotional baggage shows us that your future self is protecting you from amassing more emotional baggage by teaching you these lessons, by teaching you how to stand up for yourself and precisely say what you want and what you don't want. And it is a really clear thing that I know it can be hard, because when you say exactly what you want and you're not playing games, when it comes to love, group number 4, yeah, a lot of times you will end up alone for longer than if you just accept more of what you don't want. Because when you know what you want, you've got standards, and not everybody is willing to meet those standards. Not everybody is willing to actually put in the effort or sees that kind of value in you. And I know that sounds really harsh, but this is a real channel. We're not playing around here. Please do leave an owl emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you're here, that you selected group number 4, and that you love how blunt and honest and real that we are on this channel. So when someone invests time, energy, effort, and money into you, and why I mention money is because money is actually symbolic of, yeah, they worked hard for it, and investing it into you means that they see a future with you. And I do see that it's important that if you want someone to do certain things for you in a relationship, voice it, say what your standards are, because otherwise you will end up in a situation that you're first of all not happy in because your standards aren't being met. And then second of all, you're going to continue to enable this and make it the norm. And they're going to have you at a discounted price. If you want them to spend more time with you, if you want them to take over certain financial responsibilities, you guys, you've got to speak up. And it doesn't make you a bad person, because you also know what you are wanting to provide and bring to the table. And your future self doesn't want to see you suffer, doesn't want to see your future children suffer. Your future self wants you to be in a situation in which you feel secure and in which you have spoken up and you can live a soft life. I see here within blessings that future you just knows that what comes next are a lot of blessings from speaking up, because here in the blessings card, if you look closely, we've got a canary. Well, you don't even need to look closely. It is obvious. We've got a canary. And guess what? The canary is a bird that represents speaking up. It represents actually using your voice to say what you want. It represents being blunt, being direct, being honest. And I do see here within blessings that when it comes to your future self, they can tell that the more you just say what you want, the quicker you'll get to the type of people that are meant to be in your life. And yes, it is taking risk. Yes, you will be afraid and nervous to tell another person, actually, I think you should pay for the dates. Or actually, I think if we live together, you should pay for these utilities. Or actually, I think I really want you to have 2 days a week to spend with me. Yeah, actually, I do think you should mow the lawn. Actually, I do think you should be the one to take the trash out. These are just examples, and of course, it feels gut-wrenching when you're really into someone and you want to be with them. You don't want to sabotage it. You don't want to mess it up with them. But let me let you in on a little secret, group number 4. You cannot mess things up with the right person. There is no way. Someone that loves you endlessly and wants to be with you, you're not taking a risk by telling them what you want. They will do their best to accommodate it. Even if that means that they have to do something that they don't necessarily want to do, even if that means that they have to work overtime, they will try to accommodate your wants and wishes, just as you would do for someone that you deeply love. Think about it, group number 4, how often you've done stuff that you didn't actually want to do, that you were uncomfortable with, but you love the person so much that you did it anyways. And this is not about tugging and pulling and making each other deeply uncomfortable and seeing how far we can go. That's not what I'm getting at, group number 4. It's about asking for what you want and understanding that any kind of relationship is compromise, it's give and take. It is also sometimes doing stuff you don't want to do for the other person. Group number 4, I am strongly inclined by your future self to clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back with more messages from future you that you must receive. So just hold on tight. You don't have to do anything but continue to relax into this space and enjoy your reading, and I will be right back with the rest of your prediction. All right, group number 4, let's delve a little more deeply into these messages from your future self, shall we? First up, we've got Odin. Odin is your future self telling you that this psychic insight is precisely what you need at this very moment. And why it is that you need it at this very moment is because you are an intuitive individual that understands precisely that there's a reason why you're here right now. There's a reason why you clicked this group, why you're in this video, why you're receiving these messages. And Odin is also a messenger of you trusting your own psychic insights. Future you wants you to stop questioning your insights and questioning your third eye kind of viewpoints and your sixth sense, really. And what I mean by third eye viewpoints, I mean seeing truth for what it is and not questioning your gut feeling and asking yourself why it's not rational and whether others will understand or not. Who cares? Group number 4, the most important thing is that you follow that instinct because it was given to you for a reason. Next up, we've got Lady Portia and Master Buddha that just popped out while I was shuffling. Now, here within Lady Portia, I want to talk about the divine order that future you is bringing as a message. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. That is confirmation and synchronicity of the message we just spoke about here within Odin, that you are now being called to do what is right for you, because guess what? If you do something that isn't right for you, that others pushed you to do, or you felt like you had to make this choice because it looks better or it's more rational, guess what? When the repercussions come, you're going to have to deal with it. And I see here within Master Buddha that this is about trusting your inner voice, especially when it comes to your education and your job. Studying something you don't really want to study, being in a job that you don't want to be in just because it looks good or because of public recognition is a slippery slope to an unhappy life and existence, because guess what? You will have to put up with the repercussions of not loving that job, not loving that existence because you felt pressured into this kind of professional life. And I want to remind you that especially in cultures in which education and a certain type of education, like me being half Nigerian, there's this joke that either you become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or you're a failure. And I know that you guys like get it, and you get like that it's humor and that it's funny, but to a certain extent, it is also really like that. And I want you to understand within this message of your future self is that you should always pick what really lights you up, because you will never be successful at something that you're doing just to please others or to uphold a certain image. You'll never be as successful as following a path where you feel really inspired and obsessed with something that actually sparks joy in you. Now let's shuffle. Okay, we didn't have to shuffle too long. We had the yoke. Now the yoke is confirmation that future you can see that if you don't do this, you will feel tied down and frustrated. So pick you every single time when it comes to your path in your career, and pick you every single time when it comes to your education and furthering your education. I know it may seem easier and more peaceful to go with what looks good, but what feels good is what future you wants you to now get used to. That how you feel and how things look, they are two very, very different landscapes. Just as how you feel in your body and how your body looks, completely different. Some of us thrive on a body in which we have more muscle, more fat deposits. Some of us thrive at a higher BMI. Some of us thrive at a lower BMI. That's body mass index. That's the composition of your body, you know, how much body fat percentage you have and so on. So do what feels good to you. You are not everybody, and it's not one size fits all. And future you wants to remind you that no, you are not a burden. You are not being difficult, because a lot of people then try to say, oh, well, you're being sensitive, you're being difficult. That's the cop-out for taking responsibility for their insensitivity. And I see here within you are ready, that your future self is telling you that you're ready now to pick you and to even go down a very unconventional path and to make your dreams become your new reality. Now, within You're Ready, we have this altar, we have this rainbow vibe, we have this vibe of abundance as well. We have coins here. And you standing in a place where you feel confident and where you're bringing something to life. It's almost like you're birthing something into existence. And future you is saying, you know what, you're ready for this. You're ready to take on responsibility. You're ready to birth something to life that hasn't existed before. And then there's something better. Oh, group number 4, your future self is not letting up. There's something better for you out here. You have not yet even experienced 5% of what you're supposed to experience, the wins you're supposed to have. And if you are sitting in a space right now receiving this reading, group number 4, and thinking to yourself, I really do think I can do more. I really do think I can do better, and this is not for me. Whether it's your career or a romantic lover, like a situationship, this is your confirmation from your future self telling you, there is something better out here, but in order to access it, you have to let go of what's holding you back, of what's tying you down. The yoke is about feeling tied down or frustrated, and you're ready to do so. You're ready to follow that gut feeling that there's way better out here for you. And if you've always felt like you were destined for something greater, if you've always felt like you were destined to be really successful, famous, a role model, there's a reason why you felt that deep inside of you, group number 4, and this is your confirmation that that's really who you're meant to be in this lifetime. You are really meant to be this person that others look up to and who paves their own way and who does something that everyone else didn't think was possible or was too afraid to even try. I see here within the carnelian that your future self is telling you to feed your creative endeavors. Future you is saying it is time now to get behind all of the creativity that you have within you and actually use it in order to make something happen, because there's no point in being a creative but not creating. You see what I mean, group number 4? You can be a very creative person, but being in a 9-to-5, going to school, taking exams, trying to just do life, like trying to be healthy, trying to have a career, build your professional life, also trying to see friends and family, then working out, all of these things, where's the time to be creative? You have to carve out time to be creative. And I see here that if you're not being creative, then you can never actually put something out there if you're not making time to feed the creativity. And now your future self wants you to actually loosen your grip when it comes to your schedule on everything that you're doing for others. Like, this is now your time to feed your creativity, group number 4. Future you is tired of seeing you let your creativity and talents go to waste. Your talents are so beautiful, they're so needed, they can make a change in this world that you have just not even given credit to. And group number 4, now's the time to loosen your grip a little bit. Like the Azurite shows, get laser focused. Future you wants you to focus on the things you love and that you're obsessed with. For me, it's been tarot cards. It's been my business. It's been providing you guys with psychic insight. I am obsessed. I am laser focused when it comes to that. And now it's time for you to find your laser focus and to unify that with purpose, with passion, with professionalism, with creating a life for yourself that you know is not only sustainable, but also allows you to live a standard of life that you deserve, group number 4. I am tired of you not getting what you want, and so is your future self. And these are the keys to getting out of that cycle and out of that hamster wheel. Now, future you is telling you very clearly that you've got happiness here. Happiness is meant to be part of your path, part of your life, part of your existence. So if you've gone through depression or you're currently even battling depression, I want you to understand that there is a better time out here for you still coming towards you. Don't give up. I know some of you are on the brink of giving up. Some of you are feeling tired and exhausted and lost. Now's not the time to give up, group number 4. Absolutely not. Future you sees so much happiness, so many amazing accomplishments that you will be so proud of. And if you give up now, future you, like, they're thinking to themselves, how could you? Because there's so much that you have yet to experience that makes your life worth living 10 times over. Even when things seem bleak, even when it's hard, or you feel as though you're a failure. Group number 4, you're not. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you're receiving these messages. It's because you want to do better. You want to see the light. You want to live in abundance. Future you sees abundance for you. You're ready for it. Now it's all about shifting out of this place of pleasing expectations, of living up to expectations that aren't yours. You're ready to meet your own expectations now, group number 4. It's not about other people's wants and needs anymore. They can pack their ish and go. We're tired of that. Group number 4, we are now meeting your needs, your wants, your expectations. And I see here that the more you loosen your grip around what you think you should do, and you do what actually feels good, the more you will find abundance come towards you. And that's precisely what I also started to do when it comes to my own life. I loosened, we have a card that turned itself right side up, which is the Magician in reverse. We'll look into this right now. Just allow for me to complete this message with my example. My example was that I loosened my grip on what I felt like I should be doing when it comes to tarot, astrology, psychic insights, and I felt into what I was called to do. And that changed everything when it comes to abundance. Now, in the Magician reverse, I see here that you are already on your journey. And the thing, why I'm saying you're already on your journey, because group number 4, you may feel like you haven't even started yet, like you don't know where you're going or what your purpose is. You are already in your purpose. It is just about crystallizing it and getting more specific in your purpose. So getting more specific when it comes to your healer type of energy, the energy of giving, and deciding exactly how you want to give. Let me give you an example. For me, giving is through tarot and oracle readings, crystals, divine insights, and my psychic abilities. And I always knew I wanted to help people somehow. I didn't know how I would do it. Some people work as nurses or doctors and they give in that way. Others are lawyers or they take care of animals and that's how they give. And then there are people like myself and you, perhaps, group number 4, who want to give through their creativity and their art form and some gifts that they were granted in this lifetime. And I see here within the Ace of Cups, which actually did show up in reverse. I'm just going to show it to you upright for a second. But this card showed up in reverse, and you are being called to do the opposite of walking away, which is what the 8 of Cups upright represents. But reversed, we have you actually staying put in the gifts that you were granted and actually understanding them and making them part of your ventures professionally as well. So not always feeling like, oh, well, I haven't even started this journey. I need to start doing this. I need to start doing that. You are already on your journey. You are already going towards your highest self, towards your calling. Now it's just about how many detours are we going to take until we get there. And I want you to know here in the 8 of Cups reverse that to avoid more detours than necessary, what you can do now, actually, group number 4, as soon as we're done this reading, is to write down what sparks the most joy within you. What type of activities would you want to do that you think to yourself every single day, this is something I can do, this is something I would love, this is where I would thrive. Write it down, and that will give you an amazing idea of what kind of professional outcome that you are meant to have in this lifetime. And you can develop your own job. Think of, for example, a lot of jobs that didn't exist before, like even just working with social media. It is something that people made happen, and there was a need for it. There was a niche for it. Now it's more and more like the norm. But just remember, because you are a unique individual with a unique set of talents and gifts, that means that in many ways, your perfect job, your perfect professional endeavor is most likely something where you gotta like kind of create it and put it together by yourself a little bit. It's a little bit of a DIY thing, and it's something that hasn't really been done in this way before. But don't allow that to make you fearful. Don't allow that to make you feel as though it's not possible. The most successful people are people who were pioneers, who loved something that was unconventional and who packaged it in a way that other people could enjoy it and other people could consume it and feel supported and entertained. What comes to mind is, for example, Drag Race. I mean, that's not something that really existed before the way it does. Someone had to love the art of drag, for example, of transforming oneself, and then package it in a way that it was never done before, and look how successful it's been. Another thing that also comes to mind is coaching. There's so many coaches out here, and it's also something that hasn't existed for that long, right? There may have been mentors to people in the past and within human history, but to actually make it a thing that you sell and that you create a business around, it's relatively new, and there are so many innovative ways to do this. Now, next up within your reading, we have got time to move on. Your future self is communicating to you, group number 4, that now it's time for you to move on to newer, better things. You see these flames, you see the scratches, you see that you have been through the ringer, you have had your fair share of challenges, and now it's time to move on to the light. It's time to move on from anything that doesn't serve you or that even hurts you, so to say, group number 4, and you deserve a soft life. Your future self is trying to tell you anything that feels hard and heavy and somehow just not in alignment, move on from it sooner rather than later, because there is nobody and no part of future you that will say, oh, thank God I stayed for longer in this really hard, tough relationship, in this really hard, tough spot when it comes to making a decision about my career. Future you is not going to say that. Future you wants you to move on. Future you wants you to understand that no, you don't have to suffer. Things don't need to be hard. And you can leave that chapter in the past, use it as wisdom and as fuel for moving forward, but it doesn't have to define how moving forward is going to look like. Now, group 4, this is the reading that I received for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Make sure that you check out the description box if you'd like to see some of the card decks that I used within this reading. I'll list them below. And wherever you are in this world, group number 4, I am so thankful to have been able to spend this divine time and space with you. And I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings.